conversations that you just can't have. Tyler's not ready. That'll never happen here. Well, why, right? The solutions. I got really interested in experimenting with first-person storytelling, which is something we all saw at Out of the Loop. What I call unflinching inclusion, which means if we are doing stories where we're reporting on marginalized communities, we're reporting on issues that feel challenging or uncomfortable for people, we don't like put on kid gloves. Again, this is where data really helps, right? Like oftentimes we go to the data to start telling that story. And a reader once told me that what he really likes about my work is that I defang the story. And I was like, I just would never have put it in those terms. I'm going to show you some examples of what I think he means and examples that play into some of these other solutions. So, Out of the Loop, our storytelling show. As journalists, a big part of my job is actually just to get out of the way and make it possible for other people to tell their stories from their own words and their own perspectives and their own lives. We did the same thing with this really great series on undocumented East Texans, where I was lucky enough to get connected with a number of young folks here in Tyler who are all DACA recipients. I just met with each of them over coffee. I turned on my tape recorder, slid across the table, and said, go. Just start talking, tell me your story. And their stories in their own words were the pieces we ran on our site. Renewable energy. If you use the word climate change, sometimes people don't like it. If you talk about it in terms of renewable energy, people start to get really excited, right? Because that's a solution. That's something that everybody can get behind. And unflinching inclusion. If we're going to do stories about the Robert E. Lee name change, which is probably another topic that a lot of you are familiar with us reporting on, we're just going to do it. We're just going to start digging into the archives. We're going to start talking to people who you're not normally going to see quoted in traditional media outlets, and we're going to lean into it. The problem, deeply entrenched segregation with a lot of local bubbles. We all know that Tyler has a really serious problem with segregation, with all of us living in our silos, and we all have those kind of local touch points, right? Of you don't go north of here or south of here or east of there or west of there. Because why? Because that's just how it is. Well, that doesn't make for a healthy community. And as a journalist, I believe it's part of my job to help people cross those borders. So solutions, proactive relationships, border crossing events, and making inclusion a habit. So what I mean by proactive relationships, I'll give you an example. Some of you in the crowd tonight